Hello everybody, welcome back to the Kuchi-e Gallery YouTube channel. This is package opening video number 13. Today we're going to be opening these packages. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 packages, and I've pre-opened them all to make it a little easier this time and make it go a little smoother. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. I am slowly gaining subscribers. I appreciate every one of you. Let's get into this. So I'm going to start with this largest package on the bottom right here, which is kind of a mess, honestly. This guy did, this person, well, it was a man, but anyway, this person did an incredibly overzealous job of packing this print that I bought. This is purchased in an American gallery, so in the United States. And, it just goes to show you that randomly sometimes you can find stuff that you're looking for just by searching and stumbling across it, because this is a gallery I've never been to before. They don't sell Japanese prints as their primary thing. They sell all kinds of different prints, different kinds of art. They only had 2 woodblocks actually, and only one that I was interested in, so I purchased that one. This is a very popular image. So the image we're going to discuss first is by Kajita Hanko, and this print is probably one of the most desirable prints for people that collect Kuchi-e. Like every serious Kuchi-e collector basically has to have this print at some point in their collection, just because it's very well known. It's kind of like an early popular print, I guess I would say. Like kind of like a lot of the books about Kuchi-e and a lot of the like magazines that deal with Kuchi-e or articles written about Kuchi-e early on would feature this piece. It's like kind of a common piece. Most people who deal with Kuchi-e, sorry, I have to open all this tape. I forgot about all this blue tape on here. Most people who collect Kuchi-e have definitely seen this piece. They probably have it if they're, if they're pretty serious about collecting. So, yeah, so let's get into it. So let me take it out of here real quick. Oh, I didn't realize it had a mat on it. Sorry, that box left like stuff all over this table. All right, so here we go. Let me just take this stuff off. So it comes with a mat board. Okay, that's interesting. So it came matted, which I did not know. The picture on the website didn't show this mat board attached, so they might, it looks new actually, the mat board, so maybe they add it just as a thank you to people. But let me take it out of here because there's so much reflection we can't even see what this is. I mean, obviously you can see what it is, but yeah, let me just take this out of here. Sorry, this is why I try to do this in advance, because doing this, it's kind of a lot of dead time where I'm not showing you anything interesting, and B, it's kind of noisy and makes a mess, and I should just take all these things out, but I want people to know that when I'm doing a package opening that I'm doing actual packages. I don't know, feels like the right thing. So anyway, again, we have this plastic piece that they put in here, and they've mounted this, which I definitely did not ask them to do. I don't know why they would do this without asking me. Like, wow, that's really... Why would they do this? Why would you do this when I didn't ask for this? Like, what the hell, man? This is a dumb idea. Wow. I mean, jeez, this is stupid. Why would anybody do this unless I asked them to do it? I guess some people are like, oh, thanks, I'm so glad. But like, since I wasn't putting this on the wall, like that is like, a really weird way to thank me for, in a way that I'm not asking for, especially because like adhesive and woodblock prints is really not a great combination. Luckily, the thing they used could easily be separated out, so I've managed to remove it fairly easily. Sorry, you guys didn't see that. I was able to take off these 2 hinges. So they put hinge mounts here on here, and they taped it to the back. Truly not my favorite thing in any sense. This print, what we're going to see is this print is not, it's not in perfect condition, which is fine. I mean, Kuchi-e prints are often not in perfect condition. We've talked about this before. We will definitely visit this again. Kuchi-e prints are not often, they often have little things. This one has little holes in the corners. It has other things too that we're going to talk about. But anyway, I did pay a decent amount of money for this. This is a very, very popular design. I'm going to scoot this down a little. It's a very popular design. Anybody who is familiar with Kuchi-e knows it's a popular design. And what makes it so desirable is it just captures the beauty of this of this, well, beauty. So it captures the scene of this beauty enjoying a chrysanthemum. So she's sniffing a chrysanthemum as she kind of reclines among the flowers. You can see the edge of her kind of like chair is here. But this is by Kajita Hanko. Definitely desirable print. Like I said, most people who collect Kuchi-e will have this or will desire to have it in their collection. I have seen this print go for $700, and that was in Japan. So the prices are kind of all over the place. I've seen it in the last year. I've seen it for 700 plus, which that didn't include the fees of wherever that thing was. I can't remember which site that was on, but it was an auction house actually. So for $700 plus fees and shipping, it was probably close to $800 total all in. If they were someone from the States. If they were in Japan, the shipping would probably save them, $25 or $30. So, but anyway, so here we have a beauty who's reclining. She has a beautiful like hairstyle, a little bit Western in the hairstyle. You can just see the edge of the like a hair, some kind of a hair tie here. Then she has like this kind of feathered hair where the hair is kind of coming down. It's a really nice loose sort of hairstyle. The beauty is sort of looking downward. One thing that is interesting about this piece is that on some of the prints, you can kind of see the eye. And it's very difficult. Like you really have to look close to see it. I don't know if you can see it on this one, but some copies I've seen, they're really clean, and you can kind of see that there's a little bit of an eyeball there. I actually prefer to not imagine the eyeball. For me, it works a little better when I just imagine her eyes are sort of closed and she's sort of taking the smell in and enjoying it that way. But anyway, so she's sniffing a chrysanthemum here. In the background, we have some more flowers. She's wearing a beautiful sort of like outdoor kimono, summer kimono. Again, she has a ring, which was very, very popular at this period. You're going to notice rings on a lot of the beauties that are coming from 1890 to 1920. And that was just like a popular thing for the beauties or the women of the day to wear. Then we have this kind of brown lower kimono, and she's just basically reclining in the sun. I mean, it just snaps this picture of a woman who's reclining, enjoying her outdoor time and smelling this flower. It just screams of the natural beauty of the outdoors. So let's take a look at the back. The bleed through is very evident here. And you obviously was mounted at one point. So each corner here has mounting marks. I'll have to check later to see if it was mounted with using nori paste or not. If these mounts were done with nori paste, which I'm not sure they were because they look pretty secure, but if they were, I could just wet these and take them right off without any real problem. So so I may try that on one of them and see what happens. But they look they look pretty firm, so I don't imagine that's going to work here. Which is fine. Sorry, excuse me. Let me take a drink. So yeah, so anyway, those marks are there, but obviously they're on the back. They don't affect the front much, if at all. And yeah, we have Kajita Hanko's name here, and we have his seal here at the bottom. And that's pretty much it. It is a lovely design. I very much so like this print. I do have two other copies. One of them is like perfect. So one of them is in excuse me, kind of like amazing condition, and then one of them is sort of like trimmed a little bit, so it's trimmed to like here. I mean, it's still in a great condition, but it is trimmed on one of the margins, on the left margin, I believe it's trimmed. So there's always going to be a possibility of that happening. So like I said, it's very popular with Kuchi-e that we have things being trimmed, and it's just common. You're going to run across it all the time, and so as a collector, we're always going to be looking for being able to find a piece that has a better, the best quality of that particular design. Okay, so we want a piece that has, the perfect margins. We want a piece that has less soiling, less handling marks. No missing parts. It's just you're always, as a collector, looking for the best piece you can locate. That will get you to where you want to be in your collection. And as a collector, and even a collector who will be selling prints at some point, I always want to get the next best piece, because as a collector that will probably be a dealer one day, I'm definitely going to want a pieces for my own collection. Like I will still collect for myself, That's a common thing. You know, people that deal woodblocks are almost always starting out as collectors. That's what I've noticed anyway. So yeah, I mean, even if they weren't, you know, collecting woodblocks necessarily, but somehow they, you know, over time they tripped into it. They started becoming more and more interested in woodblocks. It's just, yeah, it's just really common. As a matter of fact, I only know a couple people right now that are still dealing, and all of them had amazing collections when they started. All right, let's move on to package number 2. Let's start with this one. A couple of these I do know what they are, but this one I actually don't. So let's go ahead and get into this one. Okay, well, it's definitely a book. Let's see what book it is. Okay, well, so we have a cover with a beautifly. We have a cover with a butterfly on it. Very nice looking cover. Let's see what print is enclosed. Oh yeah, okay, this is a lovely print. Okay, great. Wow, I'm so happy to see this. I forgot about this. See, this is the good thing about waiting months and months to open these packages, is that I get to be surprised too. Right now I have about 35 or 40 prints that are waiting to be opened. So I've been waiting way too long, and I bought a decent amount of stuff. So I need to get these going. So here we go. We have a print here by Tomioka Eisen. I love this print. It actually is interesting. So when I first, so those of you familiar with Yoshitoshi's prints specifically, but also many popular ukiyo-e artists had this. Oh, I forgot about my bone pointer. Here's my bone pointer that I bought. Many ukiyo-e artists had this this story, I guess, or a myth that's called the I think it's called The Widow of Adachi Moore or something along those lines. And it has to do with, maybe it's a witch, the witch of Adachi Moore. It's just like a tale about this old, like, kind of evil woman who, like, kidnaps and either kills or eats, or, you know, it's like a horror story type of thing. And this reminds me very much of it. Just the look of this kind of evil sort of face of the woman, this kind of like muscular but emaciated older frame. And then you have this beauty clinging on, and you know, and this person is she's carrying like a thorny branch. I mean, you know, this is definitely up to no good here. So whatever it is that's happening, it's not a good thing, you know. So this print, again, I paid a relatively high amount for this. This is a fantastic design. I have not seen this print for sale before. So again, just coming across a very rare piece, you know. Excuse me. Coming across a very rare piece where I haven't seen it before. And this one, while it does have this rental stamp, so this is a rental bookshop stamp here, while it does have this, which is not ideal, and it has another one here, again, not ideal, whoever worked at this bookstore, rental bookshop, was kind enough not to put this on the face, or not to put it on her face, or not to put it right here in the middle of the clothing. You know, they basically left the characters alone. To me, this is such a relief, you know, and it actually saved this print, and it makes this print so much more collectible. I can post a piece of paper here over this, and I'll just try to match the color. It won't be perfect, but it will take away the idea of the eyeball drawing to this. Now, is it horrific? No, it's not even the worst. Honestly, a lot of people who are like casual collectors of woodblock prints, or people that don't even know about woodblock print collecting, they would just assume this was here by the publisher, because actually it looks like it's in like a weird spot. You know, it's in the upper left corner, and maybe it describes what's going on with the play or whatever thing this is from. This one here, you know, it's not that big of a deal. You could easily frame this out. If someone put this into a frame and put a mat around it, which we happen to have a mat here today, but anyway, if you happen to mat this out, you could just easily, it doesn't, I mean, here it doesn't even go into the artwork hardly. The artwork comes down right here, so you're catching, you know, this much of it, you know, but it's not a big deal. And you could easily mat this out, and you wouldn't really lose anything that important of the scene. Also, as another option, I could maybe, it depends if it goes all the way through. Let's check the back. So no, you can see right here, I don't know if you can see that. Sorry, can you guys see that? can see right here that actually the red does not come all the way through. So the ink was not so wet that it soaked all the way through, which is great. Now in this instance, it actually was wet enough to soak all the way through, this purple here. So because we have this purple that is coming through right here, it basically cannot be fixed the way that I'm going to discuss now, that particular one. Now, a lot of it can still be fixed, but some of it will always be present because the ink is in the paper. So the only way to get rid of that is to cut the paper out, which I'm definitely not going to do. So what we have here is we have this story, which is not the Witch of the Adachi Moor, and yet it's still the same exact trope. But it's absolutely a beautiful, lovely design. So we have this older kind of witch-looking woman, a very stern-looking older woman holding this extremely thorny bush. And she's walking this beautiful woman who's got this lovely kimono with this lovely design on the sleeves. She's basically towing her to some sort of punishment. You can clearly see it. She's obviously pleading, please, don't hit me with this thorny branch. Don't punish me, etc. I mean, it's obvious, right? In the background of this scene, we have this lovely, lovely lattice work. So you can see they're walking into some sort of home or some sort of a, structure where this abuse is going to happen. But here, Tomioka Eisen has done this lovely thing where he's got the moon right here. So we have, where's my bone thing? Sorry. So we have the moon here, okay, which is kind of shining through these branches. And then we have this fantastic tree, which sort of divides up the background line. And then we have this just lovely, lovely, deep blood red leaves. I mean, the way that this print is designed is just phenomenal. I absolutely love this design. I think it's almost perfect. Like, the design of this print is so fantastic and so right on the money. This is exactly the kind of stuff I really love about Kuchi-e, is that it really does tell a story. This print tells a story. Now, there's a lot of Kuchi-e prints that don't do this, but every once in a while, some of the artists like Tomioka Eisen, Takeuchi Keishu, these people that made a lot of designs, they do have some designs that are not just beauties by themselves. Now, look, I love the beauty designs, so I'm not saying I don't. I do really love them. But I love these completed full pictures as well. And if you can get one that's, fantastically produced, really well done. I mean, look at the registration on this print. The registration from color to color is absolutely perfect. Like, there's no gaps, there's no white edges, there's no print, there's no paint of the inks crossing over from one ink to the other. The burnishing, can you guys see the burnishing on this hair? Sorry, it's kind of hard to get a good shot of this. Let's see if I can get this. There, can you guys see that there? There's like a burnishing in the hair, so it has a little bit of lines, but it also has a kind of a glary, shininess, so it makes the black very dark. But look at the shadowing around the edge here. So they've done this bokashi technique, which is the shadow, it's like a, like the fading of colors, or the it allows shading sort of, so the lines go from dark to thinner. But look at what it's done to here. It's just left this really nice, hazy, beautiful, hazy outline. I mean, that is just fantastic. They've carried it on right here on this edge. It gives the woman a real harried sort of like, like she's stressed out, her hair is coming undone, because she's clearly very much so dressed nicely. Like, she's dressed in a very nice outfit. Also, we have a little bit of silver, not a ton of silver. Again, perfect for me because I like a small amount of silver. Now, there are some other affectations to this print that lend themselves to the impending doom. We have the moonlit night. We have the blood red leaves here coming down. We have the thorny bush. We have the woman sort of pleading. We have the stern face. And then down here, we have a little bit of silver on the kimono. So this part right here is actually a little bit of silver. Can you guys see that? There's a little bit of silver there. Oh no, I have some sun coming into my room. Sorry, guys. I have to deal with that. Anyway, so we have this little bit of silver right here. But then, can you guys see this? Check this out. There's like silver. Gosh, it's hard to get this right. Can you guys see the silver on this kimono here? It's like orangey. It's like an orangey kimono, but it has a silver. Gosh, I hope you guys can see this. It's very bright where I'm at, and I don't know, I can't really see it on the camera. But anyway, it's a spider web. Like it's not very visible here, but oh, it's so lovely. Again, spiderweb, doom, you know, like a dark night, a dark scene. I just love this print so much. I mean, you can kind of probably tell from the excitement in my voice. It's just a fantastic design. Down here at the bottom, we have Tomioka Eisen's excuse me, signature with the Tomioka Eisen seal. And then we have the rental shop seal in the upper corner here. I'm just going to take a quick second. Let's highlight. Let's scan this thing with my phone. Let's translate it and see what it says. Let's see what bookshop it says. Sometimes it'll pick it up and sometimes it won't. There's a lot of writing on top of writing, so I don't know if it'll work or not. Let's just see. Yes, it does. It says Landing Pass Bank, Tokyo. No, loading pass. Wait, no. Hang on. No, sorry. It says Maruta Machi Dori, Dotemachi Hagashi to Missouri rental headquarters. See? So there you go. This was at the headquarters of some rental book company. That's exactly what I thought this was, a rental company thing. It says city capital. I don't know if that's Edo or Tokyo. Probably Tokyo at this point. Anyway, just a really cool piece. I very much so love this piece. And I'm so glad to have it. It was expensive, and I don't know if I would ever sell it, but if I would sell this at some point, it would also be very expensive. This would not go cheaply, mostly because I've never seen it before. So it's not that common of a piece. I don't know, you know, I'm sure I've said this before. I don't know what the production limits were for some of these books. Let's see if there's anything else in here. No, not really. Let's check the date, though. Let's see when this book was published. This looks like it might be the second copy because there are 2 lines here. Oftentimes that means there was a reprint, but let's check. The interesting thing about those reprints, let's see. It says Meiji 35. Yeah, no, so this is it. It was only this one printing. Yeah, oh no, actually this says it's the 28th printing. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what it says. It says the 28th printing. That's pretty amazing if it is, because that woodblock print is in fantastic condition. So again, hard to say. Is it the 28th printing? I don't know. I don't know how they do their printing for these types of books. So, but yeah, such a great piece. I love that. I'm really excited to have that. And let's move on to the next piece, though. But what a great piece! Wow, just so dynamic. I mean, it's amazing that I've been so long of a collector and I've never seen that piece available. You know, that's what I love about Kuchi-e. You know, I'm sure I've said this over and over again. I love Kuchi-e because I can find things. So this is our next package. I love Kuchi-e because I find things that I haven't seen before available, you know, several times throughout the year. And I just love that. I love that I can find new things. So here we have a hardback book. Interesting, because there are not a ton of hardback books in the world. I mean, there are, there are millions of hardback books in the world, billions probably. But anyway, at this time period, there were less hardbacks. There are some, but there were less. This one has an interesting sort of internal design of the book, of the internal book cover here. And yeah, let's open it up and see what this one is. Oh yeah, I love this piece too. This one's interesting. So this one is a little bit different from me. It is fantastic. This artist is called Komura Settai, and you know, very popular, well collected artist. The Japanese seem very interested in this artist, and this piece, I don't know if it's rare. I don't know much about Komura Settai, but I do really like his work. I mean, I think his work is fantastic. He has a very interesting style. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. He has a very interesting style, which I love, and a lot of people do. And he is a driving price. I mean, so Komura Settai's prints and books with prints are incredibly expensive at times. They can range up to, I mean, thousands of dollars, some of them. So yeah, this one it's kind of expensive for me, but it wasn't like ridiculously expensive. I think it was like a couple $100 plus, but a really cool design in really fantastic condition. So here we have a beauty who's kind of moving along through this kind of gray background. Now it's kind of a simple design, okay, but that is kind of what Komura Settai was known for. I mean, the designs of Komura Settai very much so kind of preceded Murakami's super flat idea. So Komura Settai's images are very much so solid color planes. There's not usually shadows or any sort of that. Although he did do a lot of three-dimensional buildings, and then he would have like a beauty peeking out, which I thought was a really cool thing. So he would have like a building like this, and the beauty would be like exiting out of something like this. I love that. I think it was a really cool thing that he was doing, and he was the only one really doing it at that point, at least doing it in the way that he did it. Okay. He also had a lot of landscape scenes and just houses without characters in them at all that were really beautiful, snow scenes. But anyway, here we have a beautiful Kuchi-e by Komura Settai, and I don't know anything about it, so I'm not going to talk on it too long. It's very nicely printed though, and it's pretty much perfect condition. There's no issues. The paper is particularly thick, and it might be backed actually, because there's no bleed through on here, so I don't know how they did this, but it's definitely woodblock, and it's fantastic. You can see the wood grain, actually. It's really interesting. So sometimes in woodblock prints, you can see the wood grain from whatever they were printing with. Here you can see it in the background. There's a wood grain is very obvious here. You guys can see that wood grain in the background. You can just see the grain of the wood. Now, the thing is, if we had 10 of these, and there was a first and a second and a third edition, or a reprint or a recarve, we would be able to tell right away which one was the first edition because of this background. This background's like a thumbprint. You're never going to find another piece of wood that has the exact same print as this. See this here? There's a little piece here. There's the piece here. It just is very obvious. That's one of the ways you can tell that a woodblock is from which printing, especially if there's recarved editions and you have a hard time telling them apart. You want to look for the background solid color scheme so you can see so you can see the wood grains, and then you can always tell whether it's an original by comparing that to a known original print. So anyway, Komura Settai, very lovely design. I don't see a signature here anywhere. If there is one, I definitely don't see it. So I don't think there's a signature on here, but this is a known design by Komura Settai. So let's see if there's anything else in this book. Nope. And I don't know if this is a first print or a 10th print. I don't know anything about it. I just know that the woodblock is in lovely condition. Nice that somebody put a piece of paper in there for us. But yeah, just in lovely condition. And I just thought, you know what, for a couple $100, it seems worth it to me, because he's a very popular artist, and to find a print in this fantastic of condition just seems like a good idea. All right, here's our next object. Here we have a book. I don't really remember this one, but here we have a book that has a couple of like warrior-looking people on the cover. It is a wraparound cover, so you can kind of see that it wraps around. The cover is also woodblock, by the way, which is good and bad. Woodblocks, they're not the hardiest of prints when it comes to like holding your hands on them and them being like slid between other books and stuff. Like you can see some of the design scrapes off over time, but some of them are lovely still. So, oh yeah, I remember this now. Well, this must have come from the same guy. Okay, so here we have, let me just put this behind. Sorry, some of these books are in mediocre condition, and they're dropping little bits of stuff all over. Okay, so here we have a scene of two men fighting. It's just a nice dynamic scene. I did look up the artist, although I cannot remember it right now. The signature is not that obvious to figure out. Oh man, I have light coming into this room. I just changed my locations to make it brighter where I'm filming. Unfortunately, it's causing light to come into the room, which I had not anticipated. I'm very much so sorry about that, guys. So anyway, here we have two men that are fighting. One of them is putting the other man to the ground. Now the man on the ground, the man on the ground actually has, I guess I'll have to zoom this out a little bit. The man on the ground, or wait, actually, let me zoom it in a little bit. There we go. The man on the ground, we can see here, actually has a sword. So his sword is drawn, and he has the sword here, and it's obviously come from this scabbard here. So, and then this man has disarmed him by obviously throwing him to the ground, probably using, judo or some other sort of martial art. And it's just sort of an action scene. I don't know anything about this. I've never seen this print before. I just think it's like a cool design. It's very nicely printed. The paper is a little wrinkly. Like you can see that it has some like wrinkles. Whoever had this looks like they folded it funny. I don't know why they did that. But yeah, it looks like, I don't know what they did here. But anyway, it's fine. you know, it won't straighten out necessarily, but there's not a lot of red on here. The only red is right here. So theoretically, I could spray the back of this and press it flat if I wanted to, but this was not an expensive print. I think it was like $30 or $50 or something. But it is nice. It's a nice print and a dynamic design. There are definitely people out there in the Kuchi-e collection world who like to collect action, military, you know, type scenes. So this will appeal to somebody for sure. And I think it's kind of cool just because it shows a nice bit of action and, you know, it's just kind of a cool design. So anyway, I'm not going to focus on this one too long because it's not that much of a dynamic design and I got the light shining all over it, which makes it really difficult to show this. But anyway, there you go. It's just a nice print. Here's the signature on the bottom right here. And I can't remember the artist's name. It's not his common signature. That was the issue. He has like a more common later signature. This is kind of like the earlier or the later. I can't remember. It's one or the other. It's either the one that he developed later or it's the earlier one. I can't remember. But it's not that easy to remember because of it's not used that much on these Kuchi-e prints. So I don't see it very often. So in any event, just a cool print, dynamic, two guys fighting in really decent condition. There's a little bit of like kind of like, you know, that scrubby edge that I'm always talking about on the top up here, a little bit on the bottom. But actually, you know what? If somebody wanted to put this and have it for their collection, it would be just fine. Like I think it's fine. I've seen way, way worse. So yeah, just a nice, interesting design of two guys fighting. Let's see if there's anything else in this book. I don't know who these came from, but I like that they put that white paper in there because some of these things are very acidic. You can see the paper's brown here. That brown paper means that it has definitely had some acidic, like pulp or something going on with it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not a great thing to have. So, but yeah, interesting book. Kind of a dynamic martial scene, let's say. Okay, next, let's do this. I have this piece in a tube. I have sort of pre-opened it so we can get it out easily. I don't know which one this is. Oh, I can see it. Oh, yeah, okay. I know what this is. This is a great print, actually. This is one of those prints where sometimes you just get lucky. So I just got lucky on this one. The person had it priced. This is Kaburaki Kiyokata. Certainly one of my favorite artists and probably a lot of your favorite artists. Or certainly a popular artist anyway, let's say. You know, let me do a minute. Let me take a minute to roll this the other direction because it's kind of like permanently rolled. This is why I wish people would not send things in tubes. Tubes are strong and they tend to make it so things don't get damaged, but at the same time, they definitely curl the print, which is not always a plus because, you know, especially for me when I'm trying to talk about these things. So I have to kind of uncurl it to get it so that we can actually discuss it. And that just takes time I would rather not spend, you know, on this. All right, that's better. Okay, so what we have here is a print by Kaburaki Kiyokata. It's a very cool design. I do very much so like this design. It's one I have not had before in my collection. I have seen it for sale, but it's not like super common. I mean, it does come up, and I've seen it like for sale at other galleries, for instance. They might have had a past sales section. So I would see it and be like, oh, it's really cool. So you basically have a beauty who's outside. It looks like she's hanging up some sort of cloth. It could be a kimono. It is a little frilly looking, so I'm thinking maybe it's like a bedtime cloth, a kimono, or like a robe, something like that. But she's here adjusting the robe. You have the beauty here who has a really lovely face. The hair has the, sorry, the sun is really bugging out here. Let's see. It has the burnishing in the hair, which you can see here. Can you guys see that? It's hard to see. I can't tell if you guys can see this or not. But it has burnishing in the hair there, which is really nice. The face is lovely, very well made, well designed. You have, you know, not a 3/4 turn, but like a, I don't know, something like that, where you can see both eyes, which is nice. It's a nice angle of the face. You have her with her hands outstretched. She's touching the cloth. I mean, it's just a really well-made piece. Everything comes together. Now, one thing that is interesting here is she's wearing like a outdoor summer light kimono, I guess it's would be called, because it's like a single layer sort of. But you see this cloth and that's tied around right here. This is something that women who are going to be doing work with their hands would do. And it was a way to tie the sleeves back. So they would wrap this cloth around, and then it would keep their sleeves. See, the sleeves are collected right here. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see this cloth would come down and it would hold the long sleeves here so that her arms could be free to move around without the sleeves flopping around when she was trying to work. So it's like a way of somebody who's going to do some kind of labor with their hands, and it would tie them out of the way. Really beautiful, actually. Kind of a lovely thought. Then we have the obi here, which is lovely. It has a little bit of silver, like a very small amount of silver, which is what I prefer. Silver is lovely, but having a little small amount of it to me really makes a design pop. Here we have a lovely deep maroon obi in the middle here, the part that's coming around. And you can see this red cord around here ties here as well. So it must tie all together somehow. I've seen women do it in movies where they tie back their kimono sleeves on the top, but I don't know what this part at the bottom is. But anyway, so she's hanging this item of clothing up, and then she's got a beautiful like background, sort of a garden setting in the background here. The kimono comes down. It's got a nice kind of a crisscrossy light blue and turquoise design. Very lovely. Background is a little bit of greenery. The signature we can see is down here at the very bottom on this print, which is interesting. It's actually outside of the margin line, which is not that common. Kiyokata did it a few times, and I've shown other prints, excuse me, that have that. But but it's uncommon, especially with this large kind of ornate like stamp here or seal. So the Kiyokata seal here is quite large, and so it really prevents anyone who owns this print from trimming it, which is, I mean, for the best. Obviously, you don't want your prints trimmed, but sometimes if it gets like a rip or something, it is just easier to trim that part off. It's a little bit making it so you can't do that here. So these prints have to have this, otherwise they're going to get cut off, which is, again, it wouldn't stop me from purchasing it. It's just because I had to cut in the seal, but it's nice to not have that for sure. So yeah, we have the Kiyokata here, the seal, and as we come down along the bottom, there is an umbrella sort of laid out. I don't know if it's like to dry. I'm not sure what the significance of the umbrella is. Maybe it's for when this beauty goes back out from the shade of the trees into the sun. So it was very hot in Japan sometimes. So maybe this was just a way of being in the shade while she walked back and forth to the house. I'm not sure. And then we go up here, we have the background. And then the thing that really makes this design different than other designs is you have a dragonfly. So there's a dragonfly right here in the top corner. And the dragonfly is, again, outside of the margin of the print. This is why I love this print. I think it's referred commonly as dragonfly or something along those lines. But I love that the dragonfly is here flying outside. Now, again, any copy of this print where the dragonfly has been cut in half is going to be devalued. I mean, the thing about having this and having the full margins with the signature and with the dragonfly, it's not like the beauty isn't amazing by herself. The design is lovely without the dragonfly, and yet if this piece is gone or if it's been trimmed and it's cut in half, it really loses the effect of the dragonfly if you only have the tail hanging off. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a light dragonfly as it is. It's not really that like popping. They could have done a little bit of a better job of making it pop. Excuse me. So they could have done that, and that would have been nice if they had been able to, outline it a little thicker or make the colors a little bit obvious. But still, at least it's there, and I got the whole dragonfly. So, the other thing that's kind of interesting about this print, which is not common at all, this is actually very uncommon, is they have made the outside edges, I think, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong now. I don't know, but it looks like it has like a greenish tinge. So this paper seems to have a greenish tinge or a bluish tinge or something. But this paper is a little bit tinted, like they call it toning. So it has a little bit of toning. So it is possible that the paper's toned that color, I guess. I don't actually know. It's hard to tell. It's very bright in the room that I'm in right now, which, is what I want when I'm doing filming. But at the same time, it does make it kind of hard to differentiate some of the colors, especially the light colors. Anyway, let's talk about the back. So here we have bleed through, which is nice. You can see it especially in the black here, and you can see it in the kimono and some of the background. Definitely a woodblock print, no doubt about that. And we have the fold lines here, which have been pressed out. So somebody took the time to press out these fold lines, and I'm not sure how they go. They did such a good job with it that I'm not going to mess with it. They're really stiff. They did a good job on their pressing out their thing. Somebody told me, a friend of mine told me once that when they press out their prints, they use a mixture of water, like they spray a mixture of water with a little bit of nori mixed in. Excuse me. I thought that was a really brilliant idea, because then you get the stiffness of having a little bit of sort of like glue mixed in with it, and that glue will allow it to be a little stiffer. So it's kind of a smart idea. I might try that to see how that works. One thing that's really interesting, and I doubt you guys will be able to see this, but I'm not sure. The paper has mica in it, or it has some kind of a. Can you guys see these little shiny marks here? Can you see that at all? Like, I can see it, but it's very faint. Can you guys see that, especially in this corner? It's very obvious. The whole paper has small, shiny mica bits in it. I didn't notice it that much on the front, but from the back, it's like super obvious, especially right here. Can you guys see that at all? Maybe not. Let's see. Is there any in the front? No, there really isn't. I don't understand why that's like that. But anyway, I don't know if it was like, maybe it was like laid on top of something that had mica in it. I don't know, but some of it is transferred somehow to this paper. In any event, this is this design, Kaburaki Kiyokata, lovely design with a dragonfly. People often refer to it as dragonfly or something like that. I don't know what the title is. I don't have the book, so I'll have to research that later. But it is a really lovely design. I'm very happy to have it, and I'm very happy to add it to my collection. It's just a beautiful design. And I was going to say, this is one of those instances where somebody ran an auction. I don't know how it happened, because this is a very unusual thing. But it does happen sometimes. I've talked about it before. But there was somebody ran an auction, and I don't know if they just put like a 1-day auction or 2-day auction or what, but I found it when there was only like 10 hours or 8 hours left in the auction, and there was no bids and no followers. So the starting price was something incredibly cheap, like $40. And I was able to get it for 1 bid. Nobody else bid against me. There was only 2 followers at the end. I don't know if people thought it was a mistake and so they didn't bid. I thought it was a mistake, so I was a little surprised. But I just thought, well, I'm going to bid, because why not, right? If I can get a Kaburaki Kiyokata print for $42, I'm going to do that for sure. It's definitely worth several $100s. So, yeah, totally worth it. I was really surprised. That was a great, great catch for me, and I'm super happy I got it. And, you know, it doesn't happen that often, but it does happen sometimes, which is nice. Okay, okay, I have one more print. One more package here. This is very small. I don't remember what this is. God, what could this be? I don't even know what this could be, actually. It's a really small package. Let's see. Let me cut this open. This one's actually, I forgot to cut this one. Let's see what this is. Oh my gosh. What is this thing? Oh my gosh, I do not remember this. What is this? Look at this tiny book. Wow. Okay, this is a regular size book. Let me show you the difference between these books. So this is a regular size. This is the book we're going to look at, and this is a regular book. This is like a 1/4 size almost. Look at how small this book is. I have no idea what's in here. I cannot remember buying this thing. Wow, what is this? Okay, let's take a look at this interesting book. I don't even know what this is. I'm going to zoom way in. So hang on a moment. Let's zoom way in on this little book. Let's see what this is. How bizarre. Oh, it has some woodblock printing inside of it. Looks like they're doing some sort of dancing, maybe? Why did I buy this thing? Oh, well, there's a frog. I saw a frog. Did you guys see a frog? There it is, a frog. I have no idea what this is, though. Very interesting little book. What did I buy it for? Oh my gosh, there is a woodblock. Oh my god, look at this, guys. Look at this Kuchi-e in this book. Oh my gosh, that's unbelievable. I remember this now. I didn't remember that's so amazing. I thought it was a full-size print. Oh my, guys, this is so interesting. Look at this is the size of a regular print. Let's zoom this out. This is the size of a regular print and the size of this print. And I actually thought, oh, the person who took this image, look at the difference in these print sizes. Wow, that is incredible. That is so amazing. Yeah, I bought this print and I thought to myself, oh, it's probably just a bad picture. And I had never seen this artist or this print before. So I thought, I'm just going to chance it. It was like really cheap. Like, I don't know, it was like $8 or $10 or something like that. It was very, very cheap. And I thought, I'll just take a look at it and see what it is. And it actually is an actual full Kuchi-e, but it's like 1/5 size. That is incredible. I have actually never seen one of these. This is really amazing. It's funny because I was thinking, oh, the face design is very light, and I mean, as you can see here, it's barely visible. And when the person took their pictures, it was even much worse than this. I just thought it was blurry because they took a bad picture, and I thought, well, I've never seen this design before, and it looks kind of interesting. It has like this bird in the clouds, and there's like some clouds in the back. It clearly has a signature, which I need to figure out who this is. And the kimono is really nice. The face is just kind of light, and I couldn't figure out why. Well, now I know why, because the whole thing is miniature. I mean, this entire thing is like, I don't have any sorry, I don't have a measuring tape right here. But this entire print is probably four by 3.5 or 3 by 5, something like that. I don't think it's even 5 inches though. Let's see, one, two. Yeah, it's probably 5 inches. That is incredible. I absolutely love this. Like, I'm sure you guys are like, it's okay. The design is okay. It is kind of okay. But look at how tiny this cute little Kuchi-e is. Like, I don't think I would ever sell this, honestly. I think I love it. Like, I would just keep this thing as part of my collection because it's so rare. I have never seen a miniature book, a miniature literary publication with a miniature Kuchi-e inside. I mean, that is just unbelievable. I love this thing so much. Like, it's cute. I mean, it's not the perfect design, and the face, it is really, truly, I mean, it's in there. You can see it. The mouth is there. The nose is there. But there's no face line, which actually would have really made this pop a little bit. It's just, but yeah, wow, that is just incredible. I love this thing. You have to put, guys, in the comments what you think about this. I think it's really cool, actually. I'm curious to know if any of you have ever seen one this small, like especially my Japanese my Japanese collectors, whether you've ever seen a Kuchi-e this small inside of a small book like this. That is absolutely incredible. I love that so much. So yeah, I don't know who the artist is. I'll have to figure that out, and if I can, I'll put the information on the side up here. But yeah, what a really interesting little book. I'm so glad I bought it. Like I said, I think it was less than $20 for sure. Maybe like $13. I might have even got it on a special somewhere, just because it was just so weird. I just thought, well, there's something off about it, and yet I'm curious about it, and I really love it. I'm so glad I bought it. And honestly, in hindsight, had I known this is what this was, I would have paid more for it, because this is a very unique item. I've been collecting, like I said, over 15 years. And I've never seen one like this. So I don't know if it's like super common in Japan and people see it and they just don't mention it because they're ho hum and they're just not as special to them. I think this thing is amazing, actually. I've never seen this, and I will keep it because I think it's a novelty. And I'm sure it might have been made as a novelty. I mean, the book itself is so small. Like, it's just such a tiny book. And no idea what it's about. So yeah, really interesting, huh? Isn't that a cool thing to see? Wow, I mean, that was a real unusual thing to find. Wow, I'm so stoked about that. So that was a really interesting piece. Okay, I am going to wrap this video up for today. I'm having a little bit of like congestion in my throat, which I apologize for. And I need to set this room up better because the sunlight is actually a little bit too intense right around now. I'm filming this in the late morning, and I didn't realize the sun came into this room at that point because I don't spend a lot of time in this room. In any event, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for coming out. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. I think I have 63 subscribers now, so slowly working my way up. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. That would be lovely. And that's it. I'm going to leave it there for today. And I just want to say have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.